Hello, welcome back to Actual Play, Scum and Villainy and Persephone. We just rolled the engagement roll. We're about to go. Before we jump into the action, though, I realized I forgot something in the opening intro, which is just to say that as a channel in sort of an indefinite channel-wide initiative, all of our proceeds are being split between the Trans Legal Defense Fund and the Black Lives Matter. So if you subscribe right now, that's where those proceeds are going to go. If you want to donate on your own, that would also be great. If you have other ways in which you are doing great things in the world, we appreciate that too. So thanks everybody who's on stream and who's watching for helping make the world just a little bit better. And now back to the action.
Thanks for that, Sean. Also, thanks for the intro. Rewatching this stuff on YouTube when the episodes are split into the before break and after break section, when you hit the channel 2, you get the little review. Super helpful. Nice. I didn't notice it until I actually watched it on YouTube. I was like, oh, this is really good. So, cool. So we made an engagement roll. It ended up risky. There are no bad engagement rolls, right? Like control the players in control, desperate, things are exciting and fun. And yeah, I think it's just one of those things where both of the teams are actually going to split apart and deploy. We're going to see Whisper. Whisper is walking up to meet this individual, right? And it's I think you walk up to whatever their residence is. But Dipper, if you're like observing that scene and everything, like Whisper is like doesn't see anybody following him, but you notice like drones, which indicates Guild of Engineers, and you're like you look around, right, and the things that in particular your ghosts are noticing and like clamoring for are kind of being flagged hard, right? So yeah, you've had some unquiet meditations, because all the ghosts are like, why are you here? The artifact is over there. But like at this point, they're like, all right, fine, I guess we have to do this thing. But yeah, they're helping you, and you realize that this meet is a bit more fraught than might be obvious. It's almost like this person is living a happy, normal life. They're doing some research. They're just being a person, but the Guild of Engineers is keeping much closer tabs on them than you would, or I'm sorry, the Starsmiths. The Starsmiths are keeping much closer tabs on them than you would expect because they're like apprised individuals. They're almost like in an invisible cage, if you will. As Zion's engaging, you realize that, or not Zion, a Whisper. As Whisper's engaging, you realize that Whisper's on camera and they will probably be back up a lot sooner than expected. How do you react?
I think from memory, we have like some way of communicating in like EF pieces and stuff, or we have like some communication.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I think I just relay this very fluidly to Whisper and tell like there are birds in the sky, or like they're
right, like upper left. Whisper kind of looks up and sees one of the cameras that you've noticed and realizes that things are harder. Lauren, it occurred to me something just now, if it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a flashback. Whisper's like, Dipper, I think the moment we get in the room, he's going to want to know what this meeting's about. And if I say, I want you to close the gate, he probably won't react well. I don't know what his reaction will be, but I don't think we can count on it being a good one. But if I say, I found an Urbot with 2 cores that's never been seen before that knows how to attune to the way, his scientist brain might get real excited. Is that something you'd be up for? Are you up for being bait in this trap right now? I'm not going to leave you alone, but I think it might get him talking in a way that, hey, can you close a gate? Can you close an Ortec gate? Won't be. If that's not something you're comfortable with, we will find another way.
I think if this were a comic book, you'd have like all of the ghosts on one side and have like multiple like no, like but then from Dipper's mouth
it's like split directly through half of Dipper's face, and there's a speech bubble coming out of this side.
Totally, but on Dipper's side, it's like yes, nice. Of course.
Love it. The speech bubbles are all on the left side. Sorry, I don't know why I'm getting this. The speech bubbles on the left side are all like jagged, so we can tell that they're in like that they're in right?
They're very boxy.
Yeah.
And the outsides of them
Have, like, extra lines.
circuit patterns. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. And the one on the right is the rounded, voice.
Or just square.
Or just
the
square,
Dipper
right?
voice. Yeah.
The Dipper voice.
So
yeah.
good.
Totally.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't think of something better until just now, but we need something to buy time until Cyan and Samara's distraction.
Of course, that's how we operate, and it's with us well so far. Flying by the seat of one's pants.
Cool. So that contextualizes a little bit of that, like when you're saying, "Oh, we got company," it's like, "Yep, okay, I'm glad we had the distraction."
Mhm.
Yeah, you walk in and it's a man. He's like 53.
Cool.
He's very slightly hunched over. There's a big kind of like drafting table looking thing in the middle of his room. His house is nice, but he seems to barely see it. There's not a lot of a lived-in feeling. It has that bright white sort of sci-fi decor that you were familiar with from the Guild of Engineers, but
Yeah.
he seems to function around it. He knows it very well. Like, he's very comfortable here, but it's clearly like, even though it's big, it has a feeling of like an efficiency. Like, it's obvious that he doesn't have a whole lot of like, there's no pet. There's no like, I think he has like one house plant exactly. There's not a lot of
Nothing
photos on
hanging
the walls.
Right.
No children. Nothing like that. Like, it's just
Does he have a small section that he uses a lot and the rest of it is more or less abandoned?
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Data's room from Next Gen, right? Like, Data just has like a work console, and it's like, where's your,
But also,
do you sleep? And Data's like, no, why do I need that? So like, it's a lot like that. Like, it seems like the things that are prioritized is, he seems like he would get along really well with Raquel, right? Like, it's just that Raquel is the like frazzy haired, like mad scientist trope kind of like, inventor, and this guy just seems like he's pretty happy with his work or whatever. And yeah, he invites you in and he goes, I'm sorry, I was gonna say Miss Yoniyama, like the invite was very unclear.
I'm so sorry. My wife placed it. And like Whisper knows that she's not his wife, but like as soon as he said it, he's just like, yeah, I'm letting it ride. Once a president, always a president. Once, never mind. So yeah, he just kind of like stumbles for a second. He's like, yeah. And what's his name? I should know his name, right?
This is where I'm like, oh wait,
sorry.
I have a name list.
Also, Dipper for sure quirks an eyebrow when you're like, "Oh, my wife," and I was like, "Oh, I wasn't like intently." He's like, "I wasn't." Okay.
Yeah, right. It's less, yeah, right.
Exactly. Oh, here we go. Let's see here.
The nature of human relationships is so fluid and confusing.
Kai Ramus.
Miss Ramus, I'm Sasha, and he puts out his hand.
He does like a very, he's like, I don't like shaking hands.
Okay, that's fine.
Do you want coffee or tea or something?
Coffee.
Like, it's really funny because like he almost like reaches forward, but it's like wrong, right? Like, you expect like a handshake like motion, but like he almost reaches out like to take your fingers like this or something. And it's just like, I don't want to do this.
Right.
And then it's just like, do you want coffee or tea or something? Do you have a beverage preference?
Coffee would be lovely.
And then he just turns around at a wall and just goes like, coffee, sugar, milk, black.
Black, please.
Yeah, he's like, coffee, black, and it does one of those things where it like opens a panel and there's just like a glass there. It's not a replicator because there is no replication technology, but like, yeah, there's definitely just like a cup of coffee.
And just have coffee pipes.
Coffee.
They just have coffee pipes.
Yeah.
Like soup pipes,
Yeah,
just
like soup pipes.
Soup tubes.
Sean, yes.
I'm waiting for them to be installed locally. Yeah. Does he join me? Does he have a drink that he's drinking as well? I don't care if it's coffee or not, but I want to know, like, we're sharing a drink together.
Yeah, he like I think what he says is like coffee black and the usual, and then like 10 seconds later this like little panel opens and there's like 2 drinks there, and he takes one and he carefully sets it, like he actually, it's not even carefully, he just sets it on the table so that you can pick it up, but like so that he can let go before you pick it up.
Yeah. No, I think
yeah.
I think I pick up very quickly on this discomfort, and so I'm very keen to wait for him to finish the entire motion of setting it down and retracting before I reach out for it. Like I don't try and like meet him so that our hands are close to each other. Lauren, Dipper has like gone to bars and gotten various, beverages, right?
We
right? Like they're not
like
beverages,
frequencies of
per se.
light, I think, happened or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I have ordered a drink before just to have it because
Yeah.
it's nice to
Yeah,
have.
but I think
I've also plugged in like stuff into my like chips into my brain to simulate similar states of
right. I felt like someone served you some like weird like light frequency or something like that.
Yeah, I think they did. I mean, there was for sure a boss scene where Cyan
exactly.
and
So then
Dipper
I turn and I'm just like, do you have the provisions for making, and I like roll off this, ambient light in the frequency between 16,000 and 18,000 gigahertz. I mean, if it's not part of your bar, no worries at all.
I have a workshop in my garage.
Yeah, I kind of look at Dipper and I'm like,
just shoulder cat on Steven. Go on. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
This is her thing.
I sort of look at Dipper and I'm just like, just coffee instead? or just a drink instead, rather? Yeah.
Coffee sounds splendid.
right. So I slide the coffee, I like ask for another,
and you can hear like the clink of metallic fingers closing around the.
I'm trying.
Oh, you walked in, Dipper. I thought that you would be outside. All right. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Sorry, in an operation like this, usually you have Overwatch and you have the person inside, but if you want to be there, that's fine. There's no problems.
Yeah.
Like the person doesn't react weirdly to an Urbot being with a person. I mean, if nothing else, Yoniyama is a guild engineer. Like having an Urbot is not weird at all. So yeah, but
I'm trying to get him interested, like to be like, what? You're giving an Urbot a drink, right? Like I want that. I'm gonna start getting that thought.
Yeah,
like
he doesn't. Yeah, he goes and he sits down at his drafting table and then says like, so what can the Starsmiths help you with?
I wanted to tell you about something in the Procyon sector and see if it piqued your interest, because I felt like a man of your unique qualifications might be fascinated by the work that we've uncovered and might have something to speak to it. And basically, at this point, what I'm trying to do is buy time while I'm waiting for the big explosion to go off. But
the plans are linked, of course.
Of course they are.
Go on.
Right. Yeah. Because that's when we're gonna, grab
wait for the signal. What's the signal? You'll know.
Yeah, you'll know. Is that the signal? No, you'll know the signal. Exactly. But I also I don't know this guy at all. I don't know Ramos. Maybe he'd be like, yeah, turning on enough gates sounds super cool. I doubt it, but I want to try and feel out.
You want to study him?
Yeah, I want to study him. I want to figure out what his interest in things that would go against the hegemony is. Is he interested enough in science? Does he care about the Procyon sector? All these things like that. So yeah, I'm trying to.
By the way, I just want to point out that you folks are in the Ecliptus system, which is nothing at all like Procyon. As a matter of fact, most of the stuff here looks kind of nice, so much more sci-fi, much more Lux. Yeah. And then as you're talking to him, the camera would zoom out. You realize you're on some sort of cloud city that's floating on these fluffy clouds, and somewhere some pink looking interplanetary sky whale breaches and dives back into the clouds. It zooms right back into this guy's living room. He's just
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'd like to study him, try and figure out what his interests are, so that I can come at him from so I can give him an approach that maybe he would be interested in, or so that we realize no, there's no way in hell we're gonna have to stun baton him and carry him out of here. But that's never Whisper's primary. That's never Whisper's.
I love it. Go on. You should roll some dice.
Can I throw an assist by channeling his vital signs to you of sort of fluctuating heartbeats or sort of body temperature to sort of gauge
Yeah.
It's a great
your
assist. I
approach is
love
going.
it.
I love it. And basically, I'm just like hinting at a bunch of things. I'm talking about like new, like I'm gonna like very, very, very vaguely hint at the night speaker, like the possibility of opening, new gates, like the Hantu gate. But like I'm all just like touching on it a tiny bit, just to kind of see what like lights up his interest right now.
Great. You should totally do it.
All
And
right.
I think I communicate this to you by like raising my coffee cup up if it's like, oh, things are getting pretty hot, and then sort of lower it down.
Yes.
It's like, okay.
This is amazing, Lauren. I love
Oh
it.
my God, Lord, that's so good. That's so
You're
good.
welcome.
That's so good.
Excuse
All
me,
right.
why does your Urbot keep commenting on the temperature of the coffee? The machine produces it at a standardized.
That's fantastic. Risky, I assume. I mean, that's our
No, actually, it's controlled.
control. Cool.
This guy is not your threat. And I don't 100% think you realize that. So like, yeah, it's pretty controlled. He's just like, I don't know, there's some weirdos in my house and I have to tolerate them for 30 minutes. Like, he's like, that's what the appointment is, and I always keep my appointments. Like, he's very. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. We should also figure out load and gambits since we started this job.
Yeah, two gambits, because you have the lovely Samara Vosa who grants extra gambits because magic.
Yeah, let me get those. Let me get them gambits on the screen.
The rules for those of you watching in the audience is scoundrels provide an extra gambit to the crew at the start of every job. So go ahead.
Yeah. All right.
I realized I was being cagey and joking, but maybe not everyone follows the rules.
Let's see. I have to just my windows are all. Why can't I find the gambits? Okay, well, we'll have to remember that they're there. I'll find them when I'm not rolling. All right. Controlled standard effect.
Oh my God, thank you, Jen. I did not actually know the Soup Tubes reference. That's so good. Go on.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, standard effect.
Okay, cool. And one bonus die from Dipper's. Amazing. Oh, yes. That's it. Thank you.
What do you
That
want to
extra
know,
bonus
Crit?
study. Yeah. I mean, here's what I want to know, Josh, and you can tell me this doesn't exist. I want to know how to get him to come with us willingly.
So you look around. How much do you know about gates?
How much does Sean or Whisper?
Sean.
What I know, tell me if I'm wrong, it's been a while since I've looked at it, is that they're old Urtek. They basically have been figured out how to unlock them, but they don't like know how to make them or anything like that.
Correct.
And there's always a linking gate.
How much do you know about them physically?
They're big, and
they're on the outside. Most of the time, people don't really pay a lot of attention to them. They're basically just these like giant stone rings in space, but they're actually really weird. They have like statuary and faces and strangeness on them. Like especially when you get real close up and look at them, they're not right. Like there is a lot of detail. The majority of text and like billions of symbols that no one's ever translated is on each one of them. They're strange. Like if you look at the cover, right, like you can see that they're like weird masks and all sorts of like patterns and stuff. But yeah, when you get up close, that stuff is weird. And you realize that the only art in this entire place is black and white rubbings of sections of gates. Like when you first look at them, you're just like, I don't know, he has some weird black and white chalk art. And then you're like, okay, all right, I'm starting to see this. And apparently this is the kind of dude who didn't get married because he spent something like 27 years trying to map every angle in 4-dimensional space of like a gate that he was studying or whatever. Like he is super obsessed with them to a degree that's like but like his focus is intense, right? So like a lot of what you're talking about, you're like, how does he feel about the hegemony? And he's like, well, they pay me a lot of money, they make this house for me, they allow me to do my research, therefore they're good. Like he doesn't actually think about systems of government because that would eat up space that he can use thinking about gates,
right?
He is fascinated, he will listen. He doesn't give a shit about robots, but he does give a lot of shit about gates. Cool. So like talking about gates and stuff like that will definitely pique his interest.
So yeah. I tell him like, then I think I tell him, and this is maybe where we're gonna. I think I'm gonna say this because it's gonna be maybe a consort roll, maybe a sway roll. I'm not sure, but maybe before the roll we cut to Cyan and Samara. But I think I say like, I want your help opening the Hantu gate. I think it's possible.
Yes, but we don't have the key.
We've discovered a way to open gates without a key. And I don't think that's entirely untrue because of the Nightbreaker. Is that I don't want to be lying to him, but I think that there is. The Nightbreaker can open a gate. Is that right?
Yes, but remember that gates are essentially the Nightbreaker would open a gate and then like pass through it and end up on the other side of a different gate.
Yeah.
But that's not entirely true. Like you have to like know where you're ending up. Like it can't just like flip a coin and end up somewhere random, right? Like
Right.
it does.
Could the Nightbreaker ostensibly pass through the Hantu gate even when it's closed to the other side, and then we?
I don't know.
Open it?
That's not a question I've written into this game. You can theorize that all you want and feel like you're confident, and that might be true. And then we'll find out when we make some fortune rolls.
Excellent. So
I don't actually have that answer. That's not a thing I have in my pocket. I think it's awesome. But I happen to know what the key is, and you do have parts of it. So let's just go on.
Okay. Awesome.
It feels plausible to use the Nightbreaker as like a lure to be.
Oh no, absolutely. If you're like, I have a ship with a
but-
gate that can open its own gate, he's like, you have what now?
Yeah.
Like the hegemon has a ship that can jump, but there has never been a ship with a gate. And you're like, no, there definitely is one. He's like,
I've seen it with my own eyes.
Uh-huh.
And
How far away is it?
Here's the catch. And I'll keep rolling forward, but here's the catch. In order to access it, it's in the Procyon sector, and part of accessing it.
Yeah, he kind of flinches because like basically what you said is like you have to go to the scummy part of town. But go on.
Exactly. Right. I have to go to the scummy part of town, and part of accessing it is cutting off the hegemon from interfering with us. I want to propose an incredible wonder to you on one hand and ask an incredible task on you of the other.
Cool. I think we'll make that roll in a second. The two of you, where are you meeting these nobles? I know the answer because you told me right before we cut back from break, but you should tell the audience.
Yeah. So what is the place where this guy is?
Just his residence, right? So.
Is it like a planet? Is it a space station?
Yeah. It's a planet. It's called Rekomin. It's got cloud CDs and cloud whales.
Yeah. So we're on a cloud city, and like
yes.
there's like, you know, a huge chandelier with like gravitic crystals floating in the center of this, you know, large spacious lounge where like every table has like a white tablecloth with like gold embroidered trim or whatever, and there's like waiter bots in like tuxedo attire, like bringing drinks around to all of the very fancy clientele as like someone plays piano, just like classily
in a white
but,
suit and
classily
hair.
but like background inoffensively off in the corner. And like, you know, I feel like we showed up early in order to like you know, like be present prior to my family's arrival for the handoff of the artifact. Now, Lauren, I'm assuming that Scion has the artifact in hand now, because a critical part of this is like showing the family that the artifact exists. Is that acceptable to Dipper, with the understanding that my family will absolutely not be taking possession of this artifact if we have anything to say about it?
I think that sounds good. It's probably like intercut with like this flashback scene of like Science like, give it to me, and Dipper's like, I'm trying. Like,
I'm gonna give it back. Dipper, we're gonna get the other one. We're gonna get the other one for you.
Just
We're gonna
like,
get it from
relax
Malfa.
those fingers.
Yeah.
You're doing so good. Now the ring finger.
Yeah,
Perfect.
it totally happened.
Awesome.
Love it.
Cool. Yeah, so we're like, you know, seat of honor, like center booth with like the artifact set on the table, you know, like, yeah.
I have a question. What is
Yes.
Scion wearing? Because whatever Samara is wearing is not classy enough for this place.
I think Scion probably like brought out his like noble finery and like is dressed in
hoping
the
you'd say
colors
that.
of Haoxiege. Like
So I want to
Samara was
say
gonna
that you
go
have
s-
like some ridiculous sleeveless it looks like a trench coat, but it's got like the gold thread and the on the purple and everything, and then it's
Yep.
got like tails that flow back like 30 feet.
Absolutely.
Like yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I'm
a
not picking
total
those up.
monstrosity.
That's not my job.
It has like built-in servos to like
Yeah.
hover.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
No doubt. It has tiny crystals, much like the chandeliers, like at the very edge of them, so that they float
Yep,
behind.
yep, yep.
Yeah. It's ridiculous and probably cost more than, major parts of the ship engine, but yeah.
Right. Awesome.
So not to be outdone,
Gonna say?
did you want to have a conversation in here or do anything in here before the nobles show up?
Samara.
I mean, just for flavor, right? Like, as uncomfortable as Samara looked in the previous refreshments lounge, that's just 211 here, just dialed up. Also, she looks like a bodyguard, and we're seeing
Yeah.
surly Samara, right?
Yeah, because we have House Yej armor, right? Like we have
Yeah.
your
We do.
special armor. That's a move we took. Like
Yeah.
Yep.
that we have like the fancy armor, which means like you totally could be wearing it and all decked out in Yej attire. Makes sense to me.
It's clunky though, because like that armor is heavy armor, right? So it's like
Yep.
It's like being in stormtrooper getup as opposed to your usual like flowy, more jackety movement.
Yep.
It's up to you though. No one's gonna react anyway because this noble here just walked in with a bodyguard, so no one's gonna say a word. Yeah. So do you folks do anything other than just like chill for a minute, like scope out the place? All right, cool.
I order a champagne that's like rainbow colored from like ultraviolet to infrared.
Beautiful.
Right. I
the
finally got
full
our gambits
spectrum.
on the board. Had to make up some new ones, but
So yeah, I've told me I have the token in my thing, Sean. It's fine. So like the two of you are chilling, and obviously the nobles walk in, and
Is it the twins?
oh, it's the twins, and they've got like the duelist with them, who's like, it's like a woman with like shaved head except for like a top knot. She has this like black dress on and like a sword with a single amethyst in the pommel to show like the purple, and then like a single gold earring to indicate the gold. She's got like wild tattoos coming around the sides of her head, right? Like and like up at least like the non-sword arm, and like she breathes badass, right? Like
There's no way this ends badly for me.
right. Will it be a
just
sword
remember,
fight? Will it be a date? Who knows?
yeah, she has pretty
have
strong.
a 3 in sway.
That's awesome. She does have very strong sword lesbian energy, but yeah, the just so that you know, dueling among houses is not just sword fighting. You like there are these things called the forms, and based on like specific times, the priests read an object that tells you the form that the duel will take, and it's wild. Like some of them are like shields and a blaster gun in a weird maze filled with dinosaurs. Like that's totally a duel technique. Or like, length of reading epic poetry can be a duel technique. Or like, so like a lot of duelists do like weird stuff to like.
I'm super jazzed
prep.
with how unprepared Samara feels for this.
But most of the noble houses have like duelists that are particularly known for specific forms. So essentially you're like rolling to see if they like have the edge or not. But yeah, this lady is definitely, and of course the twins are dressed in some like absurd thing. Like they have little mechanical spiders making and remaking their like costumes as they walk, kind of thing. We're like it's I don't know, they're nobles, they're weird. So yeah, I think that yeah, like they've got like little things like walking around them, like so like their outfits are constantly flowing and changing like as they do the thing. And yeah, they walk in and like the maitre d' like immediately walks up and like bows and like speaks to them, and like you see one of them like make a gesture like they're dropping like coins or whatever, and like swipes a hand over like one of his data readers, and like he announces politely to everyone except for the piano man that the restaurant is now closed. please proceed to the exits. You have about 15 minutes. But yeah, the you know, they'll saunter over to your table, and you know, they'll sit very inappropriately because they don't seem to understand what chairs are for, you know, all like lounging with like legs up on tables or whatever. And one of them taps the table and says, "So, cousin, are you here to pay your dues?"
God.
You're like 3 to 2. We're slightly outnumbered, but we got this. All right.
Yeah. What are their names, and are they Castor and Pollux?
No, it's a brother and a sister. They're not identical twins.
Yeah.
Let me think here. One sec.
But because of all that genetic engineering, I think I remember them being very, very similar looking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they do. It's kind of.
Sean, will you move us to the Roll20 playmat that has the gambit on it? Because I can't see how many gambits we have, and I feel
2,
like
I
I
believe.
would need them.
We have 2.
We've got
yes.
2 right now. We're gonna need one of them to pull off our plan.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Just,
Let's see
move this
here.
over.
I think it's Sarin and Chandra.
Sarin and Chandra.
Yej, obvious, or Al Yej.
Yeah. Sarin.
Al indicates that
Chandra.
you're in the line of succession.
Nice.
So if you're Al Melclaith, that means you're of House Melclaith in the line of succession.
Nice. Yeah, Sarin, Chandra. How good to see you. Yeah, I just like I show them the device. And
Yeah,
then
so you reach into your coat and you pull out the little like crystalline tree. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I say, surely we shouldn't proceed with business immediately. And then I like snap, and then I make some gesture that I agreed upon beforehand to like bring out the hors d'oeuvres or whatever. Like,
sure, yeah, absolutely.
I just want to like play it out and like get them on the back foot a little, basically.
That's tough, right? Because you're just like, we're gonna have hors d'oeuvres, and you're like, surely we're not gonna go to business right away. And the guy says, the guy says, suit yourself. Like, clearly you produced the object. He doesn't particularly care. He didn't actually set a date for tonight or anything. So he's like, okay. So yeah, they're totally fine with you bringing out hors d'oeuvres and all that stuff.
Are we all on comm still? So like we can hear you as well?
Yeah.
I think when you're like, surely we have time, and I'm just like, security guards and like encroaching, running out of things to say to this guy. He's like, hurry it up, son, hurry it up.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Here's what I want to do, Strash, and you can help me figure out what I need to roll to make this happen. I want to be like bullshitting. Be like, tell me about my family. How is father? You know, blah 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 blah.
You just
and then
caught
I want
up
to
2
be
weeks
like,
ago. What do you think has happened in that time?
Yeah. I want to be like, surely you understand all the adventures we've seen with this crystal. Did you know that there are 2 others? You know, well, we went to this planet and such and such and such. I want to pick it up and then begin pacing next to the table as I speak with us. And I'm gauging my distance to them very carefully.
Okay.
And what I want to do is when I've cut them in half, so one of them is within the radius and one of them is without the radius, I will activate the device.
Well, we know that this is a risky situation because
Yes.
that is what the engagement rolls tells us.
Yes.
You do know that because of your genetic code, both of them are way sensitive.
Yeah.
So they might see this coming. They may try to do something about it. You should make your attune roll. This is a risky position.
Right. Now, Steven, who else is in this bubble?
Yeah, I think the roll will determine that because
who I am intending to be in the bubble, myself, Samara, obviously, Samara, duelist, and one of the 2.
Oh, okay. That was that is a more generously worse outcome than I was expecting. Great, you should roll.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
kind of hoping the duelist wouldn't be in there, but
Yeah, I
all
was,
right.
I was
Oh
like,
sure,
but
yeah, no, actually,
the
that's
roll
that's
may
a better one.
determine that, right?
I'm gonna cut out the duelist and just have them two, and then it's like people with threatening weaponry and they don't have their bodyguard.
Yeah.
Good luck. Roll some dice.
All right.
Yeah, I feel like who ends up in the bubble is going to depend on the roll.
Yep, totally. So this is risky standard.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to push myself to gain an extra die. Samara, are you assisting?
I would love to assist.
Okay.
Just by the plan, you can position yourself
Yep,
so
just
that you're
by
within a bubble
placing
or not.
myself in the right. Yeah, I'm trying to assist the geometry of the bubble.
Awesome.
I could
So I've
totally
got
see
2
like
bonus
him
dice.
shifting, and you're like, shit, gotta move over here.
Yeah.
And here we go. I got a
Hey, there's that
Yeah.
6.
Nice.
So yeah, you slam down the shield and 50-50. Let me roll a die.
So that costs
Odds
me
is
a,
guy, evens is gal.
Yep.
So you get Chandra and the duelist. Great. Cool. Yeah, the thing slams down. And yeah, like it's they're like the duelist's hand is on their blade, and their eyes barely flicker to Chandra, and Chandra's like Chandra holds up one hand for like a split second and says, "Is this a trap?"
and I just kind of laugh, and I say, "You're not taking this." And then I set it down and I just pull out one pistol, and then I pull out a second pistol, and very clearly to the camera we can see inscribed on the sides in like, Gothic letters, Scum and Villainy.
And she goes, "How quaint." And then just like makes a motion, and you hear the hum, and obviously like the duelist draws her blade, which like starts like glowing with some dark energy. And we should totally roll credits, I think, and do XPs.
Yeah, we should do that. Let's see. Let's pull up XP. Cyan, you are you're in front of me, so you're gonna go first, right?
All right. No desperate actions. I guess I addressed this challenge with the way, so I'll give myself 1 for that.
Yeah.
Did I express my beliefs, drives, heritage, or background? Definitely here, and then maybe a little bit with Dipper and Samara earlier. So I'll give them 2 for that. And issues with vice or traumas, don't think so. So I've just taken 3 XP.
Cool.
The end.
I don't know. Your issues with insisting on having like the whole hors d'oeuvre and the whole pleasure thing going on is definitely pissing Whisper off, but it's probably not actually contending with an issue. But I will point out
Yes.
that like Whisper is not happy with you doing like the let's have the noble thing where we all waste time. He's like, let's get off this goddamn planet. I've got him interested. Come on, don't fuck this up, Whisper. Don't fuck this up.
I got him on the hook.
Yeah.
It's gonna work.
All right, awesome. Next up will be Samara.
Okay, no desperate actions. You addressed a tough challenge with charm or audacity. I don't know. I could go either way. I definitely feel like walking into this pretending to be Scion's bodyguard is fucking audacious.
I think it is.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I'll take 1 for that. I definitely expressed my background in buying our way into the system or out of the system. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, your whole pirate background, right?
I played the pirate card. Yes.
Here's the fake transponder and the paint
Correct.
job and all that jazz.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to take 2 because also I expressed my very uncomfortableness in both this bar and the other bar, and that was fun.
No, that was fun. You're right. It's not a pirate dive.
I did not struggle with my vice or trauma, I don't think. I might take that 1 for trauma because Samara's cold And like what
Oh.
she really would have wanted to say to Scion is like, cool, this plan actually fucking terrifies me. I don't want to fight a duelist. I don't want to fight anybody. But I think that would have cost her too much to actually say to Scion. So I'm gonna take one for that too.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, nice. And Dipper.
Okay, so didn't roll any desperate actions. I really, swear to God, thought about just punching Malfin to take the artifact, which would have earned me an experience point. But
There was some struggling there.
Yeah.
Oh, your ghosts are like, yeah, you not only, yeah, how are they gonna stop you? They're just organics.
Yeah.
Like,
What do they do? Damage your frame? Who cares about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think I threatened or was quite violent enough to earn an experience point this time, but maybe next time we'll see. I think I did express a lot of like sort of beliefs, drives, and heritage and background based on my
Oh,
my
so
parent.
much. Yeah.
I think we saw a lot of Dipper trying to really like maintain those human connections and like relationships with people whilst trying to struggle with the voices.
I feel like the Dipper that we see talking to her ghost father, the Dipper that we see their ghost father, the Dipper that we see talking with Manda, the Dipper that we see talking with just with like with us, like we see all these facets of Dipper, and Dipper is such a complex character that I think it's great to there's a lot of unveiling of.
Oh yeah, it's so fragmented.
Yeah.
And then I think all I do is struggle with issues from Baxter trauma these days.
Yeah.
There was a lot of trying to work with the voices, push the voices back.
Haunted gotcha.
Yeah, the reckless the recklessness of trying to steal this artifact, even though it was a really bad idea. Like oh yeah, lots of trauma.
there are no bad ideas, only bad rolls.
So
Oh shit,
I'm
roll
kidding.
grits.
I'm kidding.
All right.
That's me.
Whisper. Did you? Oh, I need to pick a move. I'm maxed. I will clear that and put that note in there. All right. I already marked my desperate action. Did you adjust a tough challenge with deception or influence? I think I adjust 2 tough challenges with influence, both talking to Manda to get her on the station and talking to Ramos. Influence in one case and deception in the other. Those were both important parts of this plan. And frankly, honestly, talking with Alondra as well about trying to get her to accept me as a advisor. Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background? Yeah, I did a lot. there was all, yes, everything. Yeah, I'm taking 2. And did you struggle with your issues from your traumas or vice during the session? I'm struggling both with my obligation to the Lost Legion and how that is frankly changing. And I'm taking 1 for soft as well. Whisper is essentially pulling themselves out of the limelight. Like they're preparing themselves to, if everything goes best, the best thing that can happen out of this is that Whisper will become a bureaucrat who works for Alondra. If everything goes worst, he dies. But like he's not going to be the adventuring space dad after this. And I'm definitely backing out of things. So I'm taking 1 for soft and 1 for obligation. All right. And the ship, Persephone. Let's see. All right, what do folks think? Oh, we're so close to an advance. Did we execute a successful extraction operation or capture a bounty? I don't think we've done that.
Not quite.
Did we contend with challenges above our current station?
100%.
100%? I feel like both encounters. Is that 2? It feels like 2 to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. So that's 2, which gives us an advance. Did we bolster our crew's reputation or develop a new one? Our reputation is unpredictable and hard. Ula made particular points about us being unpredictable vis-a-vis trying to do this thing, but I don't know if that has like made its way out to the world yet because we haven't actually done it. Like we have this wild plan, but I don't know how well people know about this wild plan.
It's probably going to be bigger next time. How about we get 2 XP next time for wild plan instead of just 1?
Yeah. All right. And do we express the crew's express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew? That was the first half of this game. That was the first 2/3 of this game. Honestly, it was just all big. Okay, so we have. I have a note that says pick a power upgrades. I think that's old, but now it is current. So we need to pick a. We need to pick a.
The plan is to leave the note until it comes back around to relevancy again, and then
I'm going to
we're
put it
good.
in chat so that whisper playbook, move, and Persephone. Upgrade.
If you say the name of the show, you have to roll credits. It's the law. I
Yep.
love our chat.
All right, there we go. Awesome. I think that's all our XPs. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. I love that we left this right on the verge of presumably Dipper and Whisper running out with Ramos, hopefully, willingly, hopefully that's the plan, and evading his security while a badass fight is happening nearby. And
I love that there may be lasers and security and ships and all sorts of other problems, but Ramos's major thing is, why are you carrying me? That involves touching. So, pew, life less important.
Maybe he'll feel better if Dipper carries him.
Oh, that actually is true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Awesome. So yeah, so I'm very excited about that. We'll be back in 2 weeks to find out how this job goes. I'm Sean Nittner. I use he him pronouns. You can find me everywhere at Sean Nittner on the Twitters and whatnot. I am very excited to obviously be playing this game. This was a freaking blast. But also later on tonight at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, we'll be playing Balak Bayan with some rad folks, including the creator, Jamie. And so if you want to play a cyberpunk game where elementals have been trapped in the machinery and they're breaking free, come check it out. It should be a good time. How about you, Lauren?
Hi, yes, I've been Lauren. I use she, they. I'm at The Stray Kiwi on Twitter and thestraykiwi.com if you want to know more about my games and my editing work and stuff. I've worked on 7 NE/IGDN nominated games, so that's super cool.
That's right.
Wow.
Anyway, yes. What else? Oh yeah. Playing Thief and the Necromancer with Strash and some lovely volunteers. Not next weekend, but the week Saturday after. Lots of seafaring adventures. It's very Obra Dinn live ship series, like sort of water fantasy, sword and sorcery shenanigans. It's very comedic, but also very dark. So that's super fun. Otherwise, I think that's it for me. What's going on with you, Stephen?
Oh, hi everybody. I'm Steven, aka Silent Osiris. The O is a 0. Y'all are amazing. I don't think there's anything else going on this coming week. My birthday was Thursday. Hooray!
Happy birthday!
That was really fun. Yeah, I hope everybody is keeping safe and taking good care of themselves during pandemic times. Thank you all for playing this awesome show with me. I have a great time. And I'm going to toss it over to Jen.
I have been Jen Martin. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at 10penjen. Yeah, this game is always really fun, and I really like playing with y'all, and I love the chat, and that's great. In my non-actual play life, people are getting their copies of Fiasco, although I worked on it and I have not gotten my copy yet, so I'm a little jealous. But I will get it eventually. It's great. People are tagging us. It's awesome. I love it. So yes, the fulfillment in a project manager position is so delicious.
So good. It's so good.
Strash, what about you?
Hey, I'm Strash, he, him. I'm one of the regular people here on Actual Play. Yeah, I'm also in that Thief and Necromancer game. That's pretty fun. I've got a play test later today of a game I've been working on called Spell and Blade, and yeah, this has been super fun. I've been having a blast. I am looking forward to. One of the things I told the players in the middle break was that I was glad that everybody got a chance to talk to their families and whatnot, because now we're gonna hit the ramping action part of the show. Yeah, because clearly everything's been super boring till now. But
a major drag. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm actually excited to get back to this in 2 weeks because yeah, all the pieces are going to be clicking into place. So now we're going to be checking the boxes before the end. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, catch me on Twitter at Strashe. You can probably see the thing in the doobly doo under me. And just two reminders. One, thanks to everyone that has subbed or cheered or done whatever to help, because like we are of course donating all of our proceeds until the world stops being on fire. And then also so that was number one. I had a plan for number two and it just escaped me now. Oh no.
I have
no,
an
it's
announcement,
gone.
so maybe it'll come to you. I forgot something, but it just reminded me of it, which is that I am slowly going through and converting all our old APs into podcast format. So
oh snap! Do you have a link to that? Because somebody literally just asked me on Twitter earlier today, and I was like, "We're on YouTube." Like,
yeah.
Oh, also, all of our shows are on YouTube, and we have playlists, and they're well organized and stuff. You should check them out.
Yes. Yeah. So actualplay.anchor.fm. I think I'm going to double check on that right now, but I'll put it in chat. So what I'm doing is I'm doing completed shows, and I'm doing them as full seasons. So right now I'm doing all of Shoeless Peasant just because I wanted to get a handle on the process, and that was a relatively short show. So I'm gonna do all of Shoeless Peasant and release it as a full season, and then the next season will be Scum and Villainy Star Dancer, which is our most popular show to date. And so this one will be included in that, but not probably until it's complete, because I want to release full seasons so that we don't get mixed up between, oh, was this a Burning Wheel game, or was this a Scum and Villainy game, or was this a Band of Blades game? But I'll be trying to do a ton of them, all of them if I can. So yes, let's see, it's anchor.fm/actualplay. We'll put that in chat. And yeah, if you miss the shows and YouTube isn't a good format for you because you want to listen while you're jogging or washing dishes or doing whatever activity, we're getting it there. And I'm adding little tiny audio commentaries at the beginning and ends of them to sort of reflect on the shows too, which is fun. So I'm going to try and get the casts together to do interviews so we can talk about the show after
That'd
the
be
fact,
amazing.
and
so cool.
that as a blurb. So I'm pretty excited about this as sort of like a documentation of the show, a little commentary on it as well. So yeah, so that is cool, and there'll be more. So far I have one a day coming out every Monday through Friday, because it doesn't take much to port it over. So we'll keep cranking them out quickly because we got a lot of content. And now back to you, Strash. If you remember.
No, I think the thing that popped into my head is somebody was asking about other formats, and I was like, don't forget, we export all of our things to YouTube. You should check out our YouTube channel. But like, you're like, also we do audio. I was like, that was the actual question. Like, OMG, you just answered a question somebody asked me on Twitter literally like 3 hours ago. So yeah.
Fantastic.
Woo! I didn't know this thing until now. Now I know the thing. Woo!
Just started it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this thing.
But I'll link our YouTube channel as well, just in case. I think it's yeah. Alrighty then.
Awesome.
I can't wait for next game. We're gonna do so much Scum and Villainy.
It's about to get hot.
It's about to get hot.
I took Daredevil, by the way, so I get a +D on Desperate Rolls and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Back up,
Alright.
because
Bye,
that
everybody.
seems helpful.
Yeah.
Smooth out.